Democrats and Republicans are currently warring over the Farm Bill, but despite that partisan bickering, there's actually one thing that they do agree on. It's the sugar subsidy, a decades-long program that helps U.S. growers by driving sugar prices up, well, artificially. Preferential treatment for U.S. sugar dates all the way back to 1789 when the government started taxing imported sugar. The subsidy for U.S. growers came in 1934 during the Great Depression. That's when the government put quotas on imports and started paying farmers directly for the sugar they produced. Almost 80 years later, sugar policy remains a sweet deal for the industry. And it gets sweeter. If farmers can't sell their sugar, they're allowed to exchange the crop for a government loan that they technically don't have to pay back. The government can then sell that surplus sugar to ethanol producers. And industry lobbyists argue that means the program doesn't cost taxpayers anything. But every now and then, the math gets sticky. This year, taxpayers are on the hook for $280 million. A lot of folks thought this year would mark the end of the sugar subsidy, especially people in the candy industry, who argue the program actually cost taxpayers more than $3 billion a year in higher sugar prices and lost jobs. So why the bipartisan agreement on sugar? Well, it all comes down to one small but influential lobbying group. In the last 5 years, the sugar industry spent $49 million in federal campaign donations and lobbying, more than any other crop sector except tobacco. The list of who's taken money from Big Sugar reads like a who's who of, well, everyone in Washington, across the aisle, and across the country. They include Democrats like Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Senators Al Franken and Barbara Mikulski. Sugar even aggressively pursued unlikely allies in the Tea Party, which opposes subsidy programs. They include Senator Marco Rubio and Representatives Ted Yoho and Stephen Fincher. If Congress does reach a deal on the Farm Bill before the end of the year, that deal will include cuts to food stamps for low-income families. But the sugar subsidy? Now that's a sweet deal that's not going anywhere.